Hello, 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 my darlings. Thank you for joining me on A Slice of Life, A Slice of Life. If you're with me, then you know why. We're super aging. We're getting older, but we're not getting old. What am I going to talk to you about tonight? I am going to talk about your message. Sometimes your message is not getting over to people the right way. How does that make you feel? You're one way, you know you're that way, but the message is being received another way. Well, let's talk about creating your message. So let's look at it in light of this box right here. I don't know if you can see, but I bought this box. It said create your message. And I bought it back maybe in 2019. And I got it from a thrift store. You know, I'm a thrift store, like the sweater. Anyway, and in it, it had everything I needed for the creating my message. I said, okay. And then I said, I'm going to create me a message. So first thing I had to do was be clear about what was the message I wanted to create. So I looked through all the letters. I saw how many letters I had and what was I trying to say. And that's the same thing with you. What is it that you're really trying to project out there when you're creating the message that you want people to receive? It can't be this way, that way, and that way the other day. It's to create the message that is the message. Create your message. What message are you creating? So for that, then you got to look internally. You got to look in yourself. You got to say, you know what? I've been doing this. I've been talking about this. I need to be this way and be this way consistently. That's my message. That's who I am. You know, and sometimes it comes with a different age. Now, you know, when you're 20, 25, you got this message going on. But when you get 35 and 40, it's a whole different message, especially 40. When you get 50, it's a real different message. It's a clear message that I'm not the one. And when you get 60 and 70, you definitely on a different message. And baby, when you get 82, I just don't want to be bothered half the time. I'm like, you know what, been there, done that. Y'all got to catch up with me. That's the message. But in the meantime, let's talk about creating message. So you got to find your message. Now, when I got this idea of creating your message, I really liked the box, and plus it said sharper image. I said, oh, I got a good deal, because I said I got it out the thrift store. So when I was creating my message, I had to come up with what did I want to say. And when I finally came up with what I wanted to say, you are not going to believe, I thought I had, let me show you, all the letters. So what I wanted to say was one woman show. This was in 2019. I had my one woman show in 2020. I came up with my message in 2019, and it actually manifested itself in 2020. But guess what? What do you see? What do you see? What do you see? You see one woman show? In your mind is one woman show, it's one woman show, but guess what? I didn't have everything I needed. I bought this from the thrift store. I looked in here and I had the letters. I thought I had the letters. But guess what? All the letters weren't in here. Sometimes when you're about to do something, you don't have everything you need. Even in yourself. You haven't figured it all out. You got to think about, wait a minute now. Let me see what else I need. It takes a minute to script this person and really be honest with that person. That's where that mirror comes in. You've been watching me long enough, you know there's a mirror down here, right? You know, there's always a mirror. Bam. That person. Who is that person? I got to script that person. Who is that person? And who is the real that person? And then sometimes you don't have everything you need. But that stop you? Just because you don't have everything you need? No, you improvise. You said, well, you know what? Like me, I don't have my teeth yet. Okay. I've been talking about these teeth for the longest. But that stopped me from doing 800 and how many shows I've done. You can look on there, about 870 shows with no teeth. I'm like, that didn't stop me. I said, oh, okay. This cancer thing is going on. Okay, well, that didn't stop me. All right, so sometimes you have setbacks. And my setback was, I thought, since looked like it was new, that all the letters that I needed to make this sign were available, but everything wasn't available. What did happen? Did I say, oh my God, I bought this, I got it I didn't pay much for it. Wait a minute. I didn't pay much for it, or I paid my money for it. It didn't have everything it's supposed to have. Oh my goodness. And I did for a minute. When I first got it and I was trying to make my, when I came up with what I was going to use for my creation, and then I couldn't find the letters, I was like, dang, goodness, wow. But then I just said, you know what, let me improvise. Are you willing to improvise till you get to where you want to get? First, are you willing to go ahead and step out with the statement of who you are? When you create your message, that message of who you are you ready to just create that person, to be that person, to be in love with that person, to love everything about that person, to present the best of that person? When you create your message about who you are you creating what the best that God has given you? Are you representing the word when you do this, when you create your message? Are you saying, you know, God, he let me stay here. Lord, he let me stay here. What, and I got to stay on message. So when you create the message, are you willing to stay on message? You know, sometimes we get sidetracked. We get sidetracked. You know, but once we create it and we figure out how to stay on it. And sometimes you don't have all the letters and everything you need. And so will you go on and improvise? Will you say, you know what? I don't have A, I don't have B. Do you sit down and say, let me see how I'm going to get that? Let me ask the Lord to help me get that. Let me pray and say, I need that. Let me keep going forward until I know how I can get that. Let me keep going forward till I know that God's going to bless me with it. I'm just going to go on faith. Because that's the key word for all this. That's the key word for everything I talk about is faith. You know, you all know, next to faith, it's got to be my picture and some more pictures, but definitely mine. Definitely mine. Because you all know I've been through some stuff. So when you are ready to present that person, when you really present that person, this is what you're going to do. You're going to create your message. And then once you get that message, you're going to stay on message. And then you're going to love that message that you have created. And you're going to stick with that person. And if you don't have everything, you're going to improvise. Now look how I improvise. So in this case, it says one woman show. I got the one. I was so happy when I found the one. And then I got the W, the O, the M, the A, but it didn't have an N. I looked everywhere. I thought, oh, I know what happened. I opened the packet and stuff fell out. That's what I remember. It wasn't new. It was new. This was closed down. And I opened it up. I was so happy, and I dumped. And some kind of way, everything fell. And some kind of way, the end. But I said, you know what? I'm doing this. So when you first look at it, you see one woman. You see with me. You see what I have made for you to see. Oh, you see what I have presented for you to see. Even with the imperfections, the imperfection is there, but you don't see it because I have presented it in such a way that you go, yeah, that's one woman show. That's one woman show. And guess what? When I did this, I didn't have any idea that I would be doing a one woman show. I knew I always wanted to do one. And so I said, I'm gonna make this like this. I'm gonna improvise with that. That's a U turned upside down. So I wanted it to look like a small N. Now, one woman's, I couldn't see an apostrophe. So I just said one woman show like this. And then at one time the light came on, and I would turn the light on and just let it sit, be in the dark with this going like this, because I had created. What I did, I had created my message, and I believed in my message, and I have everything I needed to make the message. But I said, I'm gonna put this upside down. So you had to improvise. I had to go through the letters to see what do you already have? You may be missing something, but let's look at what you already have. The positive side of it is looking at what you already have. I said, well, I don't have all my teeth, but I got these teeth. You see, so I'm going to just keep talking. I got these teeth, so I'm going to keep talking. I'm going to put some makeup on and put some hair on. I have all my hair, but I'm going to go buy me some hair. Okay? I don't have, I mean, I have this, but I'm going to go get me that. I don't have all the letters in here, but I'm going to improvise with what I have. What do you already have? See, there was a pastor one time, I got to ask my daughter, which I think was James Davis that did that, Bishop James Davis now, that did a sermon, and everything you need is in your house. I tell you all the time, everything you need is right there. Everything you need is right there. If you stop and revisit it, recalculate what you were doing with it and do something else with it. You see, what's the word when you not refurbish, but you can refurbish some things too. But when I don't know why I can't think of the word today right now. Sorry, but anyway, when you redesign, it was designed to do this, but you redesigned it to do that. You see, it's getting into the life and creating the person that you know God has created you to be. And that is the message. One woman show. Created. God did this. When I wrote this, I did not know I would have a standing room only one woman show. I just knew I wanted one. I didn't have the end, but I improvised. What do you already have? And what about you can you improvise and work with to get to the end result is the person that God put you here to be? What is the message that you're sending when you are presenting yourself in public, when you're presenting yourself, when you present and at work? You know, it's presentation is everything, especially now. We're in a new day. Oh, I got a song called that. My lyrics are green. I wrote it in 1969. It's still good. Look on Amazon.com. But it's a new day now. And when you create this right, God has already created. You've gone off and did all this. I'm talking about bringing you back to the creation you know you're supposed to be. And create that message. Then people say, oh, oh my God, here comes Anita. When we say Anita, let me try my good friend Anita Johnson. People know not to fool with her. We love Anita Johnson. She carries herself in such an elegant way, but she also carries herself in a very professional way. And when we were at work at the Atlanta Municipal Court, you didn't play with Anita K. Johnson. You got some people like that on your job. You know, certain people have a certain something about them. That's what you should have about yourself. It's a message. It's a message of professionalism. It's a message of loving and kindness. It's a message of being compassionate. It's a message of being knowledgeable. There are all kind of messages that you create when you present yourself. And here's the other part. I talk about how you feel when you're not received that way. Then you work first and say, let me see if it's me. You look at yourself first. And let me see if my message is on point. Do I stay in my message? Do I live with my message? Am I clear about my message? Am I sure of the message I'm sending? Do I love the message that I am sending? Am I the message? And once you get that straightened out, then if you're not received, then those not your people. I felt that way. I've done all that I just said, that whole list that I just gave you, and still not received, then those not your people. You say, you know what? You move on. You leave. You get off that journey. You take a detour. And when you see them coming, that's a detour. Because those not your people. You see, and go on with your message. Go on with the message that God has given you. Go on with the message of what you're supposed to be about. Go on with the message of love and kindness and peace and understanding, humility and gratefulness. That's your message. Then move on with that message. But continue in it. Stay on message. You see, and after a while, the message will be clear when you double back or when they double back, because you're the same person. the same person with the great message that God has placed on you and your heart and your family, that you are to present to the world, to do his will, his bidding, to move along, helping people move along, because we're here to help one another. I'm not here just for Georgianne. You're not here just for John. You're not here just for Elaine. You're not here just for Beverly. You're not here just for Joseph. You're not here just for Stanley. You are here for each other. How many times have I talked to you about these fingerprints? The fingerprints are all different. God gave us all different gifts. Those are different. But guess what? We are to connect. The reason we are here is to connect the gifts, not be jealous of the gifts. How are you going to be jealous of a gift that God didn't give you? That's not your gift. God gave another person a gift. He gave that person a gift. And collectively, when the gifts come together, it moves humanity, moves manhood, moves God's message. And in the end, it helps mankind. Let me ask you, what message have you created? And then, you don't have everything you need to make the message clear. Are you willing to improvise? Are you willing to make some changes? Are you willing to still present what you got? That's all you got. This little bit right here. But this is enough if you know what to do with it. And in the end, do you put the message out there anyway? And people will understand it because you put it out there anyway. And then in the end, God then awards you and rewards you for being a faithful servant and helping his people. What's your message? It helps us as we move on this journey called super aging, getting older without getting old. I love you, and you can't do anything about it.